Hello everyone, welcome to sqadia.com. I'm Dr. Hina Khan and the topic of our lecture today is the pathophysiology of death. In the first section, we'll be giving an overview of death. The types of death will be discussed in detail, and the brain death, which is the clinical diagnosis when we identify a dead person, that will be discussed in detail. Now, the second section comprises of the diagnosis of death. The diagnosis of death is usually clinical, and the signs to be noticed are highlighted in this section. The clinical tests performed by a medico-legal examiner are highlighted over here. The modes and causes of death and the post-mortem changes will be discussed in detail in the second section. The third section comprises of hypostasis. Now, these are the early signs of death, the hypostasis and the rigor mortis. We'll be discussing them in the third and the fourth section subsequently. And we'll be giving an overview of hypostasis, the color and the distribution of the hypostasis will be discussed, which of course has a medico-legal significance. The differentiation which has to be made by a medico-legal examiner and which is very important in the crime scene investigations is the difference between the hypostasis versus the bruising. And the absence of the hypostasis. Now, what are the factors which can cause an absence of the hypostasis in a dead body? They are discussed in detail in the third section. Now, the fourth section, which is the rigor mortis. Now, rigor mortis is basically the stiffening of the muscles of the dead body after the primary relaxation phase. And we'll be discussing the definition of rigor mortis in detail. Then the progression of the rigor mortis. That means basically the body parts which are involved one by one after the death. They're discussed in detail over here. And the factors affecting the timings of the rigor mortis. Now, there are a lot of factors. They can be environmental as well as physical and biochemical at the biochemical level as well. So they have to be considered because they're really important when we are dealing a medico-legal case or any post-mortem examination is being done. This is very important. So that has to be discussed in the rigor mortis section. That is the fourth section. Now, the fifth section is basically the biochemistry and the effects of the rigor mortis. Now, as I've already told you that these are the early changes after death, and so they'll take place almost within 24 hours after death. So they are very important and they're very critical in any crime investigations. And so rigor mortis and other tissues is discussed in the fifth section. The biochemistry and the effects of this rigor mortis on the whole investigation is discussed in the fifth section. Thirdly, and most importantly, the cadaveric spasm. Now, the cadaveric spasm has to be differentiated from the rigor mortis. They're basically two different entities, and they're discussed in detail in the fifth section. How do we diagnose whether it is a cadaveric spasm or whether it is a rigor mortis, which is the stiffening of the muscles. And then there is another condition, which is the heat and the cold stiffening. So heat and cold, both of them basically cause the stiffening of the dead body, which can basically be confused with the normal rigor mortis, which is appearing in a dead body. So they have to be differentiated as well. So all of these differentiating features are discussed in detail. I hope you're pretty much interested in learning about all of this pathophysiology of death. Do watch the other sections of this lecture as well. Thank you.